How's it going everyone? OutlawClient here, back once again this week, this time with a quick guide for the messenger. Now, I was in the middle of doing another playthrough, and thought that I'd just make a quick list detailing the locations for all the Phobekins, which are the creatures required in order to progress to the next key area in the game. Now, keep in mind that I will be going over the locations, or some locations that are later in the game, alongside the upgrades required in order to get the Phobekins, so save those time shards for some upgrades, and let's get right into the guide. Now the first Phobekin will be encountered very early on in the game and is quite literally impossible to miss, as you'll encounter it in the catacombs after falling from the temple bridge, much like the wise old shopkeeper predicted. Anyway, this Phobekin will pretty much explain exactly what they are, how they're builders, and that they need to be rescued in order to repair the bridge. Again, you won't actually encounter any more Phobekins until quite later on in the journey, so just continue on for now and don't worry about them. Once you obtain the cool hat and the ability to travel through time, you'll have to backtrack to the Bamboo Creek in order to find the next Phobekin, which is Claustro. With this you'll need the wingsuit and the rope dart. You'll need to scale the waterfall once again, and go to the portal, or underneath the portal to the shop, where you'll find a hidden pathway, and of course don't get distracted like me. But after going through there you'll be able to return to the past, and thus the entrance that you saw at the waterfall will be opened. So a bit of tricky platforming later, you'll find a portal that will take you back to the past again, and from there on out you'll find a dead end which drops down, and right at the end of this you'll find the next Phobekin, Claustro. And with that, 2 down, 2 to go. Now for the third Phobekin you're going to have to travel through a few regions, so hang tight. First up you want to make your way back to the catacombs where you fought the boss, but this time in the future. From there you'll find Ruxtin's final resting place, and you'll be able to obtain an amulet. After getting his amulet and reading his letter, he'll explain about how his staff was left out to help you, and from there you can travel to Glacial Peak, which is the very top, and after speaking to his staff you'll be able to transport you back to the Cloud Ruins. This is due to the tower disappearing from the first time around. Anyway, travelling to the spot that I marked on the map here for you, you have to dodge those bottomless pits, or hundreds of thousands of bottomless pits, and then if you make your way to this exact point you'll find your third Phobekin, which is Acro. And from there on out we have 3 down and 1 to go. Oh, and here's another location on the map that I marked for you, definitely not because I forgot to edit it out. And finally for the last Phobekin you'll have to return to the Syrian Crags. Now I know that I mentioned before that you'll have to travel quite far in the last Phobekin, but with this one you'll have to travel even further, so hold on tighter I guess. Anyway, once you reach this point, you want to descend instead of ascending like you did the first time to reach the bosses, and you want to be in the future, and you can access that portal in the bottom right. Now once you pass the cave and you get into this lava filled room, as you can see me demonstrating here for the first time that I saw this room, it might be tempting to jump, you'll try everything, you'll try and wingsuit, you'll try and jump, and then you'll put your faith into invisible platforms. Turns out that you can't actually get this yet, so what you have to do instead is go to the left, and luckily there's a portal to the Cool Shroom Marsh. Now you want to keep travelling until you get to this point in the map, and from there you can, there you go, bathe in this quicksand and sink all the way down. Fun fact, you can actually get this on your first playthrough before you can even go to the future. I mean, I don't really think anyone would guess that, but it is around there because the shopkeeper does mention it. However, getting past all the death traps there, like a lot of locations in this game, you'll find the magical seashell, also the magic seashell. And what this will allow you to do is pass yet another place. So you want to return to the Howling Grotto, to this exact location again marked on the map. As you can see me masterfully dodging every single projectile there. Distractions aside, you can use this hidden portal in this it seemed like a pit, but it's actually for a future portal, sort of like the second Phobekin one. However, keep going to the right when you're in the past, and then you'll come up against that portal that will transport you to the future. And from there you'll be able to access the underwater caves, or underwater maze. So turn up your game volume as loud as you can and listen out, because you'll be getting those Ocarina of Time Lost Wood vibes here. where you have to listen in order to go to the correct pathway. Just in case you get to this area before you have the shell, you can always go straight up and go through that wide exit, because it will always take you out straight away. But either way, it won't take you too long. Just listen, and then you'll eventually come across this sunken shrine area. Now, if you wander around a bit, you'll find the special item known as the Lightfoot Tabby, and just as it says on the tin, it will allow you to run over liquid surfaces. I guess you guys are starting to understand now, or starting to piece it all together. Anyways, once you do that, you can return back to the searing crags, and as you can see, run straight over the lava, because again, it is any liquid that it works for. And from there, you can receive your final Phobekin, or save your final Phobekin, which is Pyro. So, once you've completely finished all of this, and of course, those are all the Phobekins there, all 4 of them. And yeah, that's it. Congratulations, guys. You've come to the end of this guide. Well, once you go back to the Forlorn Temple, that's the one, Forlorn Temple, then you'll be able to access the previously broken bridge. However, you have to go to the future, because if you go there in the past, they'll tell you that it takes around 500 years in order to repair it. So anyway, going to the future and then going over to the Phobekins, you'll see that they've completely repaired the bridge, and now you can continue on with your journey. Anyway, huge thanks for watching. I hope this guide helped you out in some way. And again, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like. And if you want to see any of my other guides in the future, then be sure to subscribe. Just let me know, do you guys think that, or do you want any other guides, like I can help with the power seals, or maybe even some of the other items in this game as well. Anyway, brilliant game, I'm sure you guys already know that by the time you're watching this, but as I said, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.